This is an Eye on Annapolis bonus podcast.
Well, I'll tell you one up-and-coming artist that I am actually very thrilled to be speaking with, and she's going to be in D.C. later on this month, originally from Ethiopia and now from Whistler. I'm thrilled to have ZADA on the phone with me, and I will say that Ethiopian from Whistler sounds like it shouldn't go together. Sure. But, first of all, I want to let you know I am a fan. I love your voice. I love the instrumentals, and it's so hard to... I'm sitting here trying to think before we got on the phone, how do I pigeonhole ZADA, and what kind of music does she write and does she sing? And you're very hard to pigeonhole. I mean, you've got some alt, soul, pop, synth, and I'm sensing some like afro-pop in there as well. So,
yeah, and then some people have said folk before too.
Well, you've got a lot under your belt already at age you're only 20, right?
Yeah.
How did we get here so fast?
I would say a really good team and having people that are extremely dedicated, passionate about the work that have supported me is how we get here this fast.
True. Well, I'll tell you, the reason that we are chatting today is because you have released, or you're actually getting ready to release in a couple days, your first album, and it's called Water in the Desert. It's your first LP, right?
Yeah, so first album, so getting ready for this album has been a completely different process to, releasing singles. But I'm really excited about it, and I just cannot wait to share the live experience and what we've been working on there.
Well, I know Fiona shared it with me, and I'll tell you, the single Walls off of it is absolutely beautiful. And
thank you.
I mean, I was blown away when I was listening to it, and I do recommend when the album does come out, everybody check that out. You can get it on Spotify. We'll put links and stuff like that in the show notes, and, we'll have a whole Spotify playlist and everything else of your songs. But Walls was just absolutely beautiful. How did that whole album come back together?
So, okay. Like I said, it feels like a bit of time has gone by, but really it was only... last summer and a couple months before that, we started with Atlantic Times and Walls. And so we had this writing session that was kind of do-it-yourself, build your own studio kind of vibe in the middle of nowhere with my producers, Chin and Jetty and Brian West. And, some days we do one song and other days we do like 15. And then somehow we came across Atlantic Times and Walls, and we were like, okay, I feel like we're starting to figure out where we want this album to go. And that was like, those two songs were our pillars for future creation and collaboration.
So the three of you guys just put your head together and made it happen.
Yeah. And then, of course, this project, we brought on some more songwriters to just freshen up the energy of the room. So I got to write with Mr. Hudson, Elliot Bink, Kira Mastro. She's awesome. And then we just kind of took the music to different locations. So we went to, actually, I don't know if you're familiar with Vancouver Island, but just, a couple hours away from where I'm based. So we did kind of like a surf session / writing session. And then we took the project to the UK and went to the Real World Studios over there, which was incredible. So we've been able to just travel with it a bit.
So this is really an international project.
Yeah.
Between you and the music and where you recorded and everything else there as well. Now, I've heard rumors that you are considered a perfectionist. Is there any truth to that?
Oh, I'd love to know where these rumors are coming
Don't worry about where they come from, ZADA. Just tell me, are you a perfectionist or not?
I don't know, like maybe. I've told people, here's what I have said. I'm going to have an album out. It's coming for like years and years. And then there's a point where everyone's like, yeah, okay, is it coming out? So maybe. But I think more than anything, I just like to get the emotion of the record right and less about like sometimes a perfect take or something like that. It's more about us capturing raw emotion.
How did you get your start in music? Were you always musically inclined as a child?
Well, I think our parents just left a lot of room for us to be creative and in the arts in general, like whether or not that was theater or like painting. They wanted to have like a canvas for us to just throw paint on and express. And then what I gravitated towards the most was music. But I was quite shy at the beginning. Like I wasn't really comfortable with singing yet. So I kind of I thought I was going to be in classical piano and the Royal Conservatory and all that kind of stuff. But then I realized I cannot read sheet music for the life of me. So I had to figure out a lot of it by ear. And then, of course, at the time I was writing poetry. And so eventually one day I kind of combined those two, the piano and poetry together. And then we had songwriting. And then we kind of took it from there. Yeah.
That's wild. What a great trip it's been for 20 years. I mean, you've got
exactly.
Not a lot of time under your belt, but you've got quite an amazing career.
Thank you. It feels good. It feels good right now.
Good. Well, I'll tell you, you know what else you should be feeling very good about is your co-headlining at the Kennedy Center on March 2nd, which is a Saturday evening. And this is part of the Black Girls Rock Pop-Up, which is part of the Black Girls Rock Fest project that they've got. And you're there with Elle Varner, right?
Yes. I actually used to listen to her music when I was like growing up, and then I got working on my project, and then Fiona hit me up and she said, "Hey, have you heard of this artist?" And I'm like, "What? Yeah, of course I have." So I'm so excited to be there and meet her and hopefully just like learn so much from her performance too, because with everything's pretty new for me, but the opportunity is amazing, and I can't wait to just soak it all in.
Zada, I'm going to go to the show, and I can't wait to see your expressions, I guess, when you're on stage there. And I did see this actually it was at Ram's Head, which is a club here in Annapolis, when David Sanborn came in, and he was playing with a jazz musician named Brian Culbertson, who's fairly big now, but he was not huge at the time. And it was fun to watch Sanborn looking down going, "Man, this kid's got chops." And Brian looking up at David going, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm on stage with David effing Sanborn." So it's kind of cool that this is somebody that you looked up to, that you listened to as a youngster, and now you're going to be performing with her at the Kennedy Center. Yeah,
it really is wild, and I'm excited to be able to do it at the time of now, which is like releasing the album, being super proud of the work, and just spending so much time cultivating it and being able to share it kind of the day after it comes out. So it's wild on all fronts.
Perfect timing. Well, I'll tell you, for those that are listening, if you want to get into the district, tkc.co/hip-hop, which is sort of a misnomer on the URL. This isn't a hip-hop show. There are a few tickets still left, and this would be a great show to see, because Zada's, as far as I know, is not going to be back in the area anytime soon, which is kind of sad in a way, but you've got an opportunity to see her in D.C. in a fabulous room at the Kennedy Center, certainly with Elle Varner, so can't go wrong with that. But I'll tell you, how much touring have you done? And I'm not so sure that I figured that out. I mean, have you gone out on tour to back up any of your signals that you've done?
No, so I haven't. So basically, I've just been performing kind of my area, Vancouver. I did get to perform at Mondo, which was so much fun with my band. We kind of brought the band down in size and went to New York, which is great. That was my first experience, I think, in October. Then we went to Honey Jam, which was in Toronto, which is lovely to be surrounded by so many talented women around my age and see all the alumni. But South by and DC are kind of like, they're pretty big for me all across the board. So I'm really excited about it, and it's a new chapter, but I think we're all ready for it. And
I'm excited for you way over here. I mean, we're 4,000 miles away from each other, and I'm still pretty excited for you. As you move on in your career, I mean, at this point now, let's say, do you think you're going to gravitate towards smaller venues and smaller, more intimate venues, or larger, more medium-sized ones?
That's the first time I've had anyone ask me that question, but I think off the top of my head, I guess it's like wherever is natural for the fan base, I guess. I mean, I love intimate shows. I think I've been doing a lot of like smaller stage shows, but really being able to like run around on stage is something I kind of look forward to. So I think any experience, as long as everyone there is feeling great about it, it's going to be awesome. And size doesn't matter so much to me as much as like the energy and the connection with the crowd.
Well, my thought and impression just in listening to your music and what you have at this point is that a 93,000 person crowd like Taylor Swift had in Australia is not you. Hopefully it is. I'm sorry. I mean, because it's got great merch sales and great ticket sales and everything else with that. But you know, I mean, your music really resonates. It gets into the heart. It gets in there. And I mean, just even listening to it on Spotify builds a bond, I think, with the listener, which I think is probably ideally suited to a small venue or, you know, a medium size, like not a Madison Square Garden, but a theater, or a large theater or something, you know, 1,000 seats or something like that. Because I think you can really get intimate with the audience and they really feel your passion. That's just my guess without having ever seen you live. Take that for what it's worth.
I always take any bit of advice or perspective. So, yeah, no, I don't think you're wrong there, especially because it is still very much the start of live performances and bringing that angle to the sound. But I think as the music evolves, you never know. It could change into something else. Or, yeah, I think it's just about appreciating the journey and being grateful for the opportunities along the way.
You can't argue with that. I'll tell you, well, as we start to wrap it up, as a young musician, I'm kind of curious that if Fiona called you up and said, hey, I can put you on any stage with any artist you like, who's Zada going to pick to go on stage and perform with? Any artist, dead or alive?
Ooh, dead or alive? I think I could, there's so many, but maybe Stevie Nicks. That'd be awesome.
I just saw her 2 nights ago.
Or maybe Fela Kuti. Maybe.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what is next for you? I mean, obviously we're coming into DC. You're going to be at the Kennedy Center. And again, that website is tkc.co/hip-hop. And you're going to be headlining with Elle Varner at the Black Girls Rock pop-up on Saturday the 2nd. But what's next for you after this, after you go back to Whistler?
So basically, we've got one local show, Music Heals, which I'm excited about that, and that's on March 5th, and then South by I think we're there until like the 14th or so, and then there are a few shows coming up, but we're just still ironing them out and getting the details ready. I would love to do like a couple more shows with some more artists and kind of move around here a bit more because the project will be out and just really showcase it a bit more. So
get on Fiona and tell her that you need to come back east because I'd love to have you here in Annapolis. We've got a great room, and I'm going to put a plug in for you guys when I talk to them. But I mean, I would love to have you come at Ram's Head. It's a great 300-seat venue. I think you'd be great here. You know, whenever this
that would be awesome.
Tour works out
I'm
on
excited.
that.
I'm sure once I get to DC, it's going to be awesome, and then I'm sure I'll definitely be wanting to come back and figure something out. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you, as we go, what song of yours is so special to you? And it might be because how it makes you feel or, you know, just your pride or how the audience reacts or whatever it is. But, you know, if you could only perform one more song the rest of your career of yours that you've written so far, which one would it be today?
Oh, okay. I have two. So one from the project of singles would be Write It in a Letter. That one just is like my favorite songwriting on there. And then Walls, which isn't out yet, but that's like the baby of all babies.
Fantastic.
So there's my answer.
Fantastic. Well, I'll tell you, for those that want to keep track of Zada, you want to go to zadamusic.com, and that's ZADA music.com. You can keep up to speed on all things Zada. Again, she'll be here on Saturday the 2nd in Washington, D.C. with a wonderful show with Elle Varner. I do recommend everybody go get a ticket because it's probably about 3/4, maybe a little bit more sold out, so there's not too many tickets left in that room. I want to thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great, safe trip out here. I can't wait to see you in a couple weeks, and best of luck with this album, and I'm bucking to see you locally here in Annapolis next time you make a swing east.
Okay. Thank you for having me. Have a lovely night.
Are you alright? I could put it all on paper, read my heart and make you feel safer. I just wanna feel a little bit closer. Write it all in a letter. Write it all in a letter. Write it all in a letter. Write it all. One lifetime seems a second ago. I picture you near till you appear in the words. How does the time move so damn fast? I don't know. Do the moments never last? It's hard to look back and watch the days fly by. I could put it all on paper, read my heart and make you feel safer. I just wanna feel a little bit closer. Write it all in a letter. Write it all in a letter. Write it all in a letter. Write it all. Just wanna feel, 'cause we can be closer. Just wanna feel, keep right. I just wanna feel, we can be closer. Just wanna feel, keep right. This is me right now, shattered into pieces. Take it or leave it. My circuit's burning out, but I'm still breathing. This is me right now, with an empty feeling, falling in and out of a good thing. Tearing out these walls, I could stand up for. Tonight I'll show you everything. Will you accept my offering? Tearing down these walls is my final call. I'm giving you everything. Will you take this offering? This is life right now. It's time that I surrender, 'cause nothing lasts forever. So can you get real with me? Don't want your sympathy. You feel so underrated. I'm so tired of this waiting, and I need you to see me clearly. Tearing down these walls, I could stand up for. Tonight I'll show you everything. Will you accept my offering? Tearing down these walls is my final call. I'm giving you everything. Will you take this offering? If the walls come down, would you hit the ground, or could you hold me up? I need to know now. If the walls come down, would you hit the ground? Could you hold me up? I need to know now. Need to know now. Need to know now. Need to know now. I gotta know. Tearing down these walls, I could stand up for. Tonight I'll show you everything. Will you accept my offering? Tearing down these walls is my final call.
This has been a bonus podcast from Ion Annapolis. Please visit us at ionannapolis.net. Follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Ion Annapolis. And if you haven't subscribed to the Daily News Brief podcast, go for it. And all of your local news will be delivered to your phone, tablet, or smart device by 6 a.m. every Monday through Friday.